I read From Bad to Cursed by Lana Harper. This is the second book in the Witches of Thistle Grove series, and I'm not going to talk about it here because it was the book club episode of the podcast. Yes, the ratings are here, but if you want to hear me and my co-host of that episode, Devin, talk about the steam, the lore, what we thought about the first book in the series, and so much more, head to wherever you listen to podcasts and search for Jace Reads Romance, where you'll find not just that episode, but 39 episodes before that. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with that book. I had a lot of fun with that episode. All right, y'all. I read Soul Taken, which is book 13 in the Patricia Briggs Mercy Thompson series. I'm not going to talk to you about this book because you shouldn't go out and read this book. It's book 13. You should go out and read this book, book 1, it's Moon Called. And if you want to know why I think that, just look at the state of my copy. This is a book that has been well loved and it has no spice in it. This book is so good. I have done this to my copy and there isn't a single kiss in it. Not a one. In this series, it follows Mercy Thompson, who is a coyote shifter. She is Native American. Her dad was Native. Her mother is white. And she has been raised among werewolves. This is PNR. I'm a solid PNR person. She lives in this town in Washington and something goes down. Her neighbor is the pack leader for the area's werewolves and he gets injured and that's real bad. In order to protect him, she actually takes him back to Montana to the pack where she's from in order to save him. The pack that she was raised is the pack of the leader of all the werewolves in North America. So it's a really big deal and she's kind of a big deal. This world is so beautifully complex. There are werewolves, there are vampires, there are fae. Mercy is based on Native American lore in North America, and we get deeper into that lore as the series goes on. If you're wondering who her love interest is, I'm not going to tell you because there are a couple different options you meet in this book. I know, I'm really mean. But I've been following this series for decades. If you can't get a hand on this book at your local bookseller, you can probably find it on bookshop.org or go to your local library and find a copy. That is going to be the easiest place for you. This series has given me so much joy over the years. It's become a very good friend, a comfort read, as you can tell, and I hope that it becomes one of yours too. A familial love triangle situation, perfect for the CW. That's exactly how it's described in the book. I read The Next Best Fling by Gabriella Gamez. This is a very cute, light and fluffy rom-com. I really appreciated that from the beginning, our point of view character, Marcella, admits that this is a crazy premise and very rom-com-y. She has been in love with her ex, Ben, for the last 10 years. He recently gets engaged. At their engagement party, Ben's brother, Theo, is drunk, and Marcella catches him practicing a speech where he confesses his love for the bride-to-be and encourages her to run away. So we all know that this premise is tropey as shit, and you know what? I don't care. Marcella stops Theo from confessing and takes him back to her apartment so he can sleep it off. Everyone assumes that they hooked up that night. They just kind of go with that assumption. They also confess that they have feelings for other people, clearly Theo for the bride-to-be, and Marcella doesn't tell him exactly who her feelings are for, but they decide to be each other's rebounds and use this assumption that they're dating to basically date and get over the people that they're in love with. Of course, what happens? They fall for each other, but there's a lot of baggage they're dealing with. Theo with his love for the bride-to-be, Marcella with her love for Theo's brother / the groom-to-be, and all that entails. Marcella has baggage about relationships and certainly about the groom-to-be, and that causes her to not trust these feelings that she's developing for Theo, to not want to put herself out there out of fear that she's going to be left by her dad, by Ben, kept on the side, and never really placed first in someone's life. Theo and Ben have a really complicated history of their own. They are brothers, they've been estranged, they are very antagonistic toward one another, and they need to heal or not from all the drama that they've inflicted on each other throughout their life. Theo falls first in this, I should mention that Theo is also a former NFL player, so he fine. He real fine. He big, he strong, he fine. And Marcella is a thick, beautiful Latina woman who loves some sweets. And I just adore the way that he worships her body and celebrates the way that she looks from the beginning. There's never any question about how infatuated with her body he is. And that plays into and how starts to heal some of the insecurities that Marcella has from being a woman, but also from shitty men who've made comments about her body in her dating life. Y'all, dating sucks. Dating sucks. And in general, no offense to any singular men who are out there, but in general, generally, the male population sucks. And I'm saying men very specifically. If you're a human with a vulva, if you're a woman trying to date a straight man, it's rough out there. I don't wish it on anyone. I don't wish it on anyone, especially if you're experiencing the level of BS that these characters in romance novels are experiencing. No bueno. No bueno at all. Theo falls first and asks Marcella to really give their relationship a go. There are some third act breakups things that I had to put this book down and finish another book and a half before I was willing to pick it back up. But they get through it real quick and not in the way that I thought. I definitely thought the ending of this story was going to contain a different turn than it did, and it made me so happy. I was surprised with how flirtatious and explicit they were, how lightly described their intimacy was. They are intimate quite frequently, but the intimacy itself, the descriptions are maybe a page and a half. It's very quick. So even though we're getting explicit things, it didn't feel like a terribly explicit book. It almost felt fade to blackish, like I was browning out throughout the scene and missing vital moments. That's my personal preference. Didn't love the way that that made me feel, but I liked the way that they talked to each other about their intimacy. I liked the conversations they had about protection, that they both really encouraged the use of condoms, regardless of their STI status, because condoms are important. They just are. Protection is important and it's sexy. Theo's reaction to Marcella purchasing condoms for them to use might be one of my favorite moments in this book. It has stuck with me. And that's the way that it should be. If your partner brings home condoms and goes, yes, let's use these, your reaction should be to throw them over your shoulder if you can and hightail it to the bedroom as soon as possible. If you're looking for a light, fluffy rom-com that is so sweet and full of grand gestures and a little bit of awkward, this is going to be for you. I think for a first novel, it was an incredible job. I'm so excited to see what Gabriella comes up with next.